Hey there, Amplifiers. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce someone who isn't just a successful entrepreneur with groundbreaking insights, but also is an all-around incredible person who I've had the pleasure to know personally. Whitney Harper is a powerhouse behind ADVOS Legal and ADVOS Pro. Her journey is one of innovation and sheer determination, revolutionizing professional services in the legal field and beyond. Whitney's strategic law firm, ADVOS Legal, caters to the unique needs of high-growth companies and investors. But she didn't stop there. With ADVOS Pro, she's changing the game for professionals, including lawyers, consultants, and advisors. They're breaking free from the constraints of hourly billing, embracing a world where efficiency, value, and work-life balance reign supreme. Today, we're going to dive into Whitney's inspiring journey, uncovering how her visionary approach is not just reshaping professionals, but also crafting a future where passion drives practice. Welcome to the show, Whitney.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Take you everywhere with me. Say nice things all day long.
Well, it's easy to say nice things about someone that's done so many incredible things. And I'm really excited to have you on the show. We've known each other for a while, kind of running in the same circles. So excited to have you here, share your insights with our listeners.
Thanks. Really appreciate it. And I'll say, I totally appreciate all the kind words about me. And it's really a team. We've had the privilege to work with some incredible lawyers. My business partner, Gwen Griggs, and Sarah Strasio, are now the ADVOS Pro team as well, and really value being able to do this work as a team and not have to go it alone.
And that's a great way to do that, because otherwise, as we know, you get spread very thin. And if you can't leverage those incredible team members, you're not able to achieve as much as you do. So that's a great point there. Today, we're going to be really jumping in to talk about strategies. And in particular, we're going to be talking about pricing strategies. Can you talk a little bit about your background and what makes you that go-to person when it comes to this topic?
Yeah, for sure. Gwen and I started ADVOS Legal in 2015, and both had been in big law firms. We had been in kind of in-house roles, and we also had operated businesses. And because of that career path, right, where we went from the traditional law firm billing by the hour into being part of a business, it really broke us around the ability to go back to billing by the hour. And when you've seen business owners who really care about, did we get the thing done? And did I get the value that I paid for? And your brain shifts to that. Billing by the hour really no longer makes any sense at all. So when we started ADVOS Legal, we knew we wanted to do it differently. We wanted to break up with hourly billing. And as we looked around, we realized there really wasn't an established way to do that, to move away from hourly billing. The industry didn't have kind of a how-to manual on that. And so we had to build our own. And what we built was what we now call the P3 method. That is a way to price, pitch, and be profitable based on deliverables-based billing. And as we kind of built that method, built it into our law firm, we now have this fantastic use case of a law firm that operates beautifully on a great system that clients love. Our clients actually love working with their lawyers, which is sort of a revolutionary statement. And we have this incredible client satisfaction rating. Our team loves working in this model. It's not, it is not sort of the soul crushing hourly billing thing that people are expecting when they come to a law firm. And we wanted to take that method to the industry at large, right? We wanted to help other lawyers love their practice, love their work, and to build client experiences where clients could love the experience of working with their lawyer too. So that is where ADVOS Legal sort of birthed ADVOS Pro, which is the business where we are helping lawyers and other service providers, CPA firms, consultants, really anybody who had been billing by the hour, move away from hourly billing and giving them a methodology for how to get from point A to point B and build a practice they love.
I love that. And I love that it's a framework because so many people, they try and figure it out themselves and they waste a lot of time and money and effort. And essentially they feel like they're beat down and they can't overcome that. So behind that, having that framework, they can really follow a proven path. You mentioned, some of the frustrations that are surrounding pricing by the hour. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and talk about what are those pain points and those frustrations that you see with your clients before you start working with them?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when we as lawyers first are introduced to a potential new client, very often that person is talking really fast. Like literally, they're talking really fast because they think that every second is going to cost them more. And it means that the interpersonal relationship is hard to develop, right? People don't want to tell you about their kids or their hobbies or whatever. And so you don't get to know them as humans. You don't get to know the culture of the client's business or those kinds of things. It also means that the client is going to tell the lawyer what the client thinks the lawyer needs to know, which is probably not all the things the lawyer needs to know to deliver the best result. The lawyer doesn't feel freed up to go ask more questions. So you end up with friction in the relationship and often kind of suboptimal results because of that inherent conflict that is hourly billing. So instead, if you can shift away from that and the client can understand the fees and what they're going to get on the front end, and they can make a good decision, then they've decided that the thing you're going to deliver is valuable and they're willing to pay that amount. So the lawyer is freed up from that worry and the client is happy to talk and tell you all the information that you need to know and build good relationship so that everybody can sort of enjoy the experience more, which is great.
That does sound great. And you mentioned some of those pain points. Why is it important for these practices to make that shift? What's the danger long term, both for them and their clients, if they don't make a shift to going towards more of a deliverable or a different model?
Oh my gosh. Well, the robots are coming. So, right. I mean, AI is here. And if you think about lawyers in a world where technology is at the forefront, everybody understands that we can deliver better work product more efficiently when we leverage technology. But when you bill by the hour, being more efficient just means you need to go find more clients. That's a problem, right? That is a real risk to the legal profession and to a lot of others, right? I think other consultants and service providers and kind of those professional service businesses need to acknowledge that in a world where AI is built into almost everything and we don't even realize it, that if you haven't figured out how to price for the value you deliver instead of for how long it took you to do it, you are going to die off. It's not going to work, right? I don't think AI is going to kill the legal profession. I think it's actually going to be tremendously beneficial to the profession. But the lawyers and the other service providers who don't get on board with a different way to bill for what they deliver are going to have a really, really hard time.
I think that's a great point. And I see that in a lot of industries you mentioned, and it's not whether the AI is going to be used or not. It's definitely going to be used. It's how are you leveraging it to do those tasks that are more menial and that take a lot of time so that you can really be freed up to do more of that creative thinking and more of the value-based actions that you need to do to really serve the client the right way. And I think you're exactly right. If these practices don't adjust, they're going to be left behind and they're just going to be extinct. So I really...
Well, you think about like the parts that you love to do of your job are not the things that the robots can do, right? It's not the stuff the AI can do. It's the stuff that only you and your particular genius can deliver. And so the benefit of that is that if you can make this shift, you actually get freed up to do the work that you meant to do when you chose the profession you're in, right? Like that's a great answer, but you've got to shift how you're billing for it.
Hey there, this is Kenny from Growth Amplifiers, here to ensure you get your awesome ideas into action to grow and improve your business and achieve your full potential. Take the first step by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. Take the assessment to get your personalized score. Then select from free resources to learn how to improve your score. Don't wait. Be proactive and take action now by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. And always keep on amplifying. Now, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do the work that you actually enjoy and love and want to show up for. And that's obviously going to attract more clients because they're going to see the joy that you're exuding, and then they're going to be sharing that with others. So they're going to say, hey, I have this experience that is unlike any experience I've ever had with an attorney before, and they're going to want to tell everyone about it. So in terms of getting to that transformation, tell me a little bit more about the P3 method and how that is used to help your clients achieve this.
So P3 method is a course with some tools and some assets that help lawyers kind of understand and know how to go from hourly to deliverables-based billing. So if you think about, like, if somebody just says, like, don't bill by the hour, and you mentioned earlier, you've got to go try to figure out how to do that yourself. That's exhausting. You're going to have a lot of missteps. And we did that. Right? We figured it out. We distilled it down into a tried and true methodology. And then we have kind of the tools to use in that methodology so that we're just making it really easy for lawyers, right? We want millions of lawyers out there loving their work and loving their practice and being richly rewarded by it. And so the idea is, let's make this as easy as possible, right? Let's take the guesswork out. Let's give you a path that is adaptable to different practice areas. So it's really about thinking through, what is it that you deliver, right? What are the components of the work you do? How do you size those? How do you price them? How do you talk about it with your client? Because for most service professionals, and I think lawyers are at the top of this heap, nobody taught you how to pitch this kind of work, right? In fact, that's one of the reasons lawyers default to hourly billing so easily, is that you actually don't have to tell someone on the front end how much it's going to cost. You don't have to have the money conversation, except that you do on the back end when the client is unhappy. And then you just accept the reduced amount they're willing to pay, or you have to fight about it. And that's no fun either. So in this methodology, we're giving lawyers the tools to price their work, but also the tools for how to pitch it, how to frame it up for a client, how to talk about it, how to think about alternatives. So if you price out a project and the client says, yeah, it's not worth that to me, or is there a different way to solve this? How to have that conversation too, so that you can find the place where the thing you're delivering meets up with the value that the client places on it and the fee they're willing to pay for it. And you both can be in a good place about that. So it's those tools, and it's delivered in a recorded course format so that you can keep using those tools as you need them, go at your own pace. And then on the back end of that, think about, how are you going to leverage technology and process and playbooks to help yourself become more profitable so that you can really kind of realize the value of billing on a deliverables basis to your own firm and life and bottom line.
That sounds like a great solution for these practices. And it's funny, it's very similar to some of the things that we do with our clients. We're showing that roadmap, and it's helping them, take those steps, because a lot of times it's foreign to people that haven't done it before. And if you can follow that path, it makes it so much easier, and you can see that it's going to work for you. Can you share a story of someone that you've helped with this process?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some really, really cool successes with lawyers who, frankly, one of my favorites, and I so enjoyed working with her, is a lawyer who would tell you herself that she's like an 80-year-old woman in a younger woman's body, right? She's just like not a friend of technology, very comfortable operating in kind of a traditional fashion, but found that hourly billing was not working well for her. It wasn't building the client relationship she wanted. It wasn't giving her the balance between her family and her work that she needed. And she really had some distaste around that sort of self-worth thing around, am I only worth the 0.1 that the 6 minutes represents, right? Of the dollars there. Like it really tying your time to your value can be hard and disheartening. And so she, understood how we operated in ADVOS Legal and wanted to implement that in her own practice. And as we worked through that, she began to get really excited about knowing what she was, getting clear about the project that she was going to deliver for a client on the front end, and knowing that the value of that project, right, the fee that she was going to charge was valued by the client. So going into your work, knowing that the client is happy to pay you the price for the work, I think that was an unexpected benefit for her that she was really excited about, that she could say to the client on the front end, here's what we're going to do. Here's what it's going to cost and how long it's probably going to take. And the client could say, yeah, that sounds great. And she just had this weight lifted off of her, this ability to go like, oh yeah, great. I'm going to go do that work. And I don't have to have in the back of my mind the whole time the worry about whether the client is going to get the bill after I've done the work and say, wait, if I'd known it was going to cost this much, I never would have asked you to do it. Right? That's just a terrible feeling. And we've all, as lawyers who bill by the hour, we've all experienced that. And that is terrible. Nobody wants to deliver that experience for the client or for themselves.
That's a great story. And we talk a lot about the before and after state of clients and the transformation that they go through. And you can hear that in that story that you just shared, where before the person didn't feel that they were valued, they almost feel like a failure. And through that transformation, now they see that they have all this value and maybe beyond what they thought their value was. So, their emotions have completely shifted. And as you mentioned before, now they're looking forward to working again. I'm sure that has ripple effects all throughout their life and with their family and their connections. So it's really a great transformation that you're creating for these attorneys.
Yeah, it's, cocktail parties as a lawyer can be kind of tough, right? Because you show up and people are like, hey, what do you do? And you say you're a lawyer and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, right? That's awful. It's a terrible answer. And we really are out to shift it and have a whole bunch of lawyers out there who can say, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm thrilled with what I'm doing. And I love my practice and my clients love working with me. And it's delivering the results I wanted for my life, whether that's time freedom, more profitability, more love for the work itself, being freed up to dive into that sort of genius level work instead of the administrative stuff. Like all of those results, we think are really important to enjoying the practice and up-leveling the experience.
That's great. And if there's someone out there that's listening right now and they're tuning into this and they're saying, hey, I'm stuck in this hourly billing trap and I want to make this transformation, but I'm not really sure where to start. What's one, quick tip that you can share with them that may be that first step that they could take?
So I would say on our website, advospro.com, there is a calculator. We call it the cash machine calculator, but it's actually a little bit more than that. It talks about, so you put in the results of your current firm and then how much of your firm you could potentially move over to deliverables-based billing. And from that, it'll show you the shift that you could see in your results, right? Faster cash flow, collecting more of your cash, getting time back that you don't have to spend generating hourly bills, like all of those things. So I would say the first tip is, if you're not sure about how to make that shift, or if you're kind of on the fence about whether to make the shift, get real about what the shift could mean in your business based on what your business looks like today, what your practice looks like today. So go download that calculator, and it's, have a little fun with it. See what you could get out of it. And then once you've really got yourself aligned to, I want to make this shift, pick something small. I think, a lot of us as lawyers tend to go big or go home. And this is a take a step at a time, build some muscle memory sort of approach. So I would pick one thing in your practice that you can get your head around delivering on a fixed fee or a phase or a project basis, where you can say, I think this project or this piece of the work is worth these dollars. And then the next time you have the opportunity to sell that thing, right? Somebody needs that thing, talk about that fee on the front end and get comfortable just saying like, yep, this thing is going to cost you this much. Here's what's included in it. Here's why it's valuable. And then let them say yes. Also, though, understand that no is the second best answer, right? Somebody being willing to tell you no on the front end instead of at the back end is way better than you delivering the work and then having to either fight to get paid or not get paid at all and have a bad relationship from it. So pick something small, go try it out, build some muscle memory and some experience about it.
I love that. And that ties into one of my favorite books, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. It's think big, but start small. What's the first thing that you can do that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And speaking of that, I know you're someone that, cultivates a lot of inspiration and is in circles of other achievers. So where do you go for your insights and inspiration? Is there, do you enjoy events, books, or podcasts? Is there one if you had to choose one, what's your favorite?
So I'm a big fan of all of those things, right? The events, the books, the podcasts, all of it. I'm a voracious reader and learner. But I actually, just before this conversation, was in my CEO circle. And I think that's a great spot. Other people who are in the trenches, people who are running businesses that are entirely unlike mine, which is kind of cool, right? Talk to somebody in manufacturing when you're a lawyer and you start to see things a little differently. And you realize like we all have the same problems, right? We all are facing the same challenges as business owners, and seeing them from the angle of a different industry or just someone who thinks differently or who has navigated it differently than you might have originally thought to me is really energizing and valuable. And I would encourage everybody to find a group that they can kind of bounce things off of who are in that same kind of spot, right? People who have that same level of challenge and opportunity.
I love that. And I think of a quote from Sally Hogshead, which is, better isn't better, different's better. You get some of those best ideas from those outside perspectives. That's how we got drive-through fast food. Not that that's a great thing, but, they got those from the bank tellers, seeing, that the bank tellers were using those windows to serve their clients. And they said, hey, why can't we do this in fast food? So I think that's a great recommendation. Get connected with other high achievers, elevate your sphere of influence. Whitney, I'm really excited that you've been able to share so many of these insights. If someone wants to learn more about ADVOS Pro, what's the best place for them to go?
So our website, advospro.com, ADVOS pro.com, is a great place to get connected. We've got a spot on the website where you can send us an email or schedule a quick call. And I'm always happy to chat with people. Reach out to me at whitney@advospro.com directly, and I'm happy to set up some time to chat.
Awesome. Well, make sure that you go to advospro.com if you're looking to get out of that trap of the hourly billing. And Whitney, to close us out today, do you have any final parting words of wisdoms for our listener?
I think, I don't know that it's a word of wisdom so much as it is encouragement, but I really do believe that you can love your work and love your life and be richly rewarded by all of it. So I would just encourage everybody to get out there and try to make that promance a reality.
I love that, promance. Love that word. Thanks so much, Whitney, for being here today, and look forward to seeing all the great things that you and ADVOS Pro are going to continue to do to transform all those hourly billing practices out there.
Thanks so much for having me, Manny. It was great.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.